Well, happy Christmas Eve, or whatever you like for this to be. Happy football Sunday. And we are just above Ann Arbor. We're going to start off with Red Star. It's Christmas Eve, so we're going to pretend like we got our red sled out again. No, we don't pretend on that. We actually have a airplane referred to as a sled. So we've been over that before. But here's Detroit. It's kind of a family day for me, and it goes way back. Here we start in Detroit at the turn of the century, which is 1900. My dad was born in Detroit. And he went to Ann Arbor. My brother went to Ann Arbor, and then I went over here to Big Rapids. Big Rapids is probably this little spot up here. Oh, there it is. Big Rapids, Michigan. After I got out of the Navy, I went there to finish high school. Well, I never quite finished high school, but I did graduate from college. And we don't need to get into that story today. This is about Christmas Eve and Christmas, or whatever you celebrate this time of year. And this is a fairly short flight, and we go by area that found my birth in Reading, Pennsylvania. That was 1937 that I was born. And we won't get into the age on that. And then before we moved to the West Coast, we lived in Summit, New Jersey, which is probably right about there. Summit, New Jersey. It might be up as high as that. I'm not going to go in on that. But up here in Massachusetts, near Springfield, and is a town called Northampton. So we lived up there. First 6 years were in Reading, second 6 years Northampton, then we moved down to Summit, New Jersey. I'll zero in on Summit here for a second. And let's see if we get Summit to show up. It's not going to show up for us. It shouldn't be too far out here. We're close. This is Morristown. So coming back in here, and we see a couple of golf courses, and might as well go all the way in now. Here's Summit right there. We go right over Summit. So we sold the house in Summit. Dad retired, and he was working out here in Morse Plains, and he retired out to the West Coast, and I've been on the West Coast ever since. So that's the end of that story, and we'll just go back out, and we'll go ahead and click that flight. We're going to come down, tell you a little bit about, we're going to go into Newark. Newark is one of the early airports I flew in and out of when I got my private pilot's license. Flew a load of guys up to drop them off in Flushing, New York, and Flushing Meadows Airport was right here. The Whitestone Bridge was Whitestone Bridge probably goes right across there. Flushing Meadows was right out there. We don't need that. So a little tri-pacer, and to fill it up with fuel and people, 4 people, 135 horsepower, it wouldn't have been able to get off that airport. So I picked them up at Newark Airport, and we flew back down, kind of a hair-raising flight. This flight, we're going to come down the Hudson so we can see the lights of New York, Manhattan at night, and the Statue of Liberty right there. Okay, thanks for letting me fill you in on what the flight's all about. Let's get with Santa and his sleigh. We're Santa's helper. So this is probably the Matterhorn and the Swiss Alps. So now we're ready to go here. Click this, and we are in flight. So I've got a little more homework to do. We got to put the power all the way up.
on 127.7. Good day.
I probably can do her. I'll just hand off.
127.7 experimental 7 Bravo Charlie.
Let me do this while we're sitting here. Cleveland Center.
Cleveland Center experimental 527 Bravo Charlie flight level 1010.
So we're at 100,000 feet.
Bravo Charlie Cleveland Center radar contact continue.
So we'll just go ahead with that. We got flight following. Get that off. We got to turn on our scramjets. There we go. And then we got to get our afterburners kicked in here. I don't know why that has to happen. We got the gear up, no spoilers, and we're already almost Mach 3, and we're on course. I'm finally figuring out how to set this up so I don't have to scramble. So we click this and we're off and running, and we're going to be lighting up here, and here we can see Detroit. Here's Detroit all around there, and we're looking down at Ann Arbor, which is right there. That's the University of Michigan. And we'll be heading past Cleveland. Cleveland is over here.
Bravo Charlie, contact Cleveland Center on 132.45.
Cleveland Center, Lake Erie.
Good day.
Lake Erie. And we're 102,000. Let's get in behind here so we can kind of get the nose down a little bit. We don't need to be gaining any more altitude. But we are up to coming up on Mach 6.
Experimental 7, Bravo Charlie, did you copy?
And we're going to go look at us getting our red sled looking at Cleveland. We're trucking along, and we got to answer her or him. Her.
Going to 132.45 experimental 7 Bravo Charlie.
So we'll look back at Detroit right there. It's Dad's childhood was in Detroit, and now we're looking out toward the East Coast, and we'll let it go on the and I already got down to 85,000. Let's go inside, get the nose up. We're holding our course. Here comes the nose up. Lost a little speed, but we don't have to worry too much about keeping it up at Mach 9 because it's just a short trip. It would have been a long trip in my Tri-Pacer. So happy Christmas Eve. I might have said New Year's Eve, but it's Christmas Eve, December 24th. There we go. Okay, and we're coming up. We're good. We are good. We'll get a little more look at the red sled at night here. And for some reason the city lights show up better for some reason. I had my Guru tweak it, so we're looking good. Let's go in behind, and we get up on the upside just a little bit. We'll see the East Coast coming up as we switch in here. We're just starting to see maybe down by Washington, Chesapeake Bay, something like that is coming in on the right there. We're back up to Mach 9. We're back up to 97,000 feet, so we can level off. We don't have to go any higher. And we can be a little left of course because we want to just, instead of going direct to, here comes the entire Atlantic coming in. Let's go back outside. And that's a little bit of St. Elmo's fire. I had that on the mail run when it was icy conditions, and the tips of the props would glow, It was really something. And I'm learning that the early sailboats, when they'd get out of the lightning, real serious electrical storms, that the tops of the masts and stuff would they'd get St. Elmo's fire glowing red. It was really eerie, unless you knew what it was. Okay, so now we're coming up on maybe 100. Yeah, we're 100, so we can shut down the scramjets, the short trip here, and we can bring back the power all the way, and probably put the nose down. God, we bounced up to 113,000 feet. We'll flip in the spoilers, and we'll kind of swing left. We'll put the nose down, swing left, lose altitude as fast as we can. I really love the lights. Wow. So we're in a steep bank to the left, losing altitude, coming down at 50. We're going to be coming down at 60,000 feet a minute, and that's about what we need to. So we'll hold this for about 30 seconds, and then we'll come back to the right, and you can see the Hudson River. I called it the East River a little while ago. There's the Hudson River coming down. Statue of Liberty is going to be right about in here. Newark Airport, I can't quite see it, but I'm guessing Newark Airport's right about in there. Okay, 50,000 feet. I'll keep the nose down, and now we'll swing it back to the right. This is probably about where the George Washington Bridge goes across right there. That's LaGuardia. That's where Sully took off from runway 4, I believe, 2 or 4, and came out, climbed up, got up to about 3,000 feet, and he swallowed a bunch of birds in both engines, stuck it down in the Hudson River, down to 20,000 feet, coming around, back around to the right. This is Teterboro Airport. This was one of the choices that Sully had. Sully had a choice, two choices, Teterboro or back into LaGuardia, and he didn't think he could make either one, so he ditched it in the Hudson. When they simulated it on simulators, I don't know how many guys tried. With the conditions Sully had, the airspeed, the altitude, when he lost his power, they tried making it to both these airports. No one was able to do that. So the decision, initially, they take the spoilers off. Initially, they were giving Sully a hard time for not making it back to the airport. No, he made the right decision. Not one person lost their lives. They actually even recovered the aircraft. I don't think it ever flew again, but now we come back in with a little power so we can fly down the Hudson River. And right here, we're flying over the George Washington Bridge, and the dark area right here is Central Park, and then we're going to go into Newark Airport, which is right down there. So let's see, we're 300. We're in good shape. We're going about 300. We get it in right behind the aircraft. This is when I have to fly the airplane. We're coming past Central Park. This is probably about where Sully put it in the drink. We can see East River. We can see LaGuardia. Then I went right up along here and around the end and landed right over in here was where Flushing Meadows Airport, which has been closed. Now you're looking at we're getting into the downtown area of Lower Manhattan. These are all the office buildings. This is probably Yeah, that is the Empire State Building. And then down here at the bottom, the biggest, tallest shadow is the World Trade Center at the bottom. We're at 2,000 feet. We're going to get in behind again. And then we're going to see the Statue of Liberty right dead ahead. We're holding our altitude. Our airspeed's pretty good. So we'll say hi to the Statue of Liberty. And then we're going to land at Liberty National. I can see the runway right over there. So there's the Statue of Liberty. We're at 1,500 feet. I've got to come in with some power. Now I've got to get over here and talk to Newark.
New York approach experimental 527 Bravo, Charlie 1,900 feet.
Experimental 527, Bravo Charlie, New York, approach altimeter 29.902, radar contact continue.
So we're going to cancel flight following.
New York approach experimental 7 Bravo, Charlie, cancel flight following.
And we're over New Jersey.
Experimental 7, Bravo Charlie, New York, approach cancellation received. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
Okay. Airport list. Liberty National, Newark. Start around the tower. Full stop landing.
Newark Tower experimental 527 Bravo Charlie is 7 miles southeast, 4,600 feet with Quebec to land.
Experimental 527, Bravo Charlie, Newark Tower. Altimeter 29.902, wind calm, make left base runway full right.
Yeah, we're making right base for right. I don't know why they do that. Okay, acknowledge
Make left
instructions.
base runway for right experimental 7 Bravo Charlie.
And then, okay. See how we're doing? Coming around. Starting to see the runways right in there. We're looking good. Gonna put the wheels down. Okay, we'll get back on the tail. And we're already on the tail. So she's going to clear me to land.
Experimental 7,
There we
Bravo
go.
Charlie, wind calm, clear to land runway full right.
Alright.
Clear to land runway for right experimental 7 Bravo Charlie.
Getting a little slow. We want to keep it up around 200. There you get lined up a little better. Get over there. There we go. A little hard.
Experimental 7, Bravo Charlie, contact ground on 126.15.
126.15, Experimental 7, Bravo Charlie. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Newark ground Experimental 527, Bravo Charlie, request taxi to parking.
Experimental 527 Bravo Charlie taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway pop-up cross runway 29er cross runway 22 right cross runway 29er Sierra Zulu 4 Zulu tree.
Okay, you say so.
Taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Mike Romeo Bravo 1 cross runway 22 right Kilo cross runway 22 left Echo Echo cross runway 29er Zulu Zulu tree Experimental 7 Bravo Charlie.
Anyway, when I flew out of here with full tanks and full load, four sailors off the USS D'Amato in Norfolk, Virginia. The general aviation was over here in this corner. Then we had to taxi all the way out to runway 4 for takeoff. Okay, we're getting close enough here. We're getting close enough. We can drop the presents over here. Here's a little car running over here. Sometimes if you follow a car, that's where they want you to park. Sometimes they're just, it's a diversion. Yeah, this is where they wanted us, right here. Sneak right here in the corner. Right here. Okay, thanks for riding along. Merry Christmas and happy holiday. Hope you have a great New Year. I should be flying before the New Year's out. Anyway, thanks for riding along.